Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you are new. Hello, my name is V. I post nail tutorials every Thursday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. I did miss out on Sunday's video and a few of you guys noticed. I'm so glad to be back. We are in the process of moving, so bear with me through this transition. I am going ahead and doing a watch me work video for you guys. I know you guys love these, so I saved these for today's video. I'm using my Kiara Sky rechargeable e-file to remove the design of her current set. I have been just changing out the design on her nails as she has been loving the clear background. So for this set that we are removing, we did a neon silhouette kind of design of the body, and we focused on the butt area and the breast area. So it was kind of cool creating that. I do apologize for not recording that video. Sometimes it's just easier for me to do a service without recording, as it can be pretty time consuming. So depending on how much time I have and if I am feeling okay to put in that extra time, I will record. So for today's video, we're going to be doing fun nail art over top. I am focusing on removing that design as well as filling these nails for right now. So I am focusing on any areas that have lifting. Now, she did mention that she smashed her middle finger. So really that is the only nail that she had lifting on. Her nails stay intact pretty well. We make them pretty thick so they last her a little bit longer and they don't crack. I really focus on my prep area anyways, so we get the longest adhesion out of the product. So I went ahead and filed down the acrylic just a little bit, and now I'm taking my cuticle nippers and trying to nip off any of that lifting. So a quick little reminder, you want to make sure you are not hurting your client. When nipping off any lifting, you want to make sure you are using your thumb on the opposite hand to really press on the opposite side of the lifting area. And that way you do not cause any excessive pressure on the opposite side, if that makes sense. So you'll see me constantly holding the nail down so that it doesn't move while I am nipping. It can be pretty painful if you've tried it on yourself, so make sure you guys are always being aware of that as well. I'm just continuing to nip off little areas and then filing it down just a little bit. Now I will be going back later on to remove a little bit more. She did wash her hands as soon as she came into the salon, so there's a little bit of moisture under there. Quick little way of drying it out very quickly is just pouring some alcohol, some acetone down that nail, and it will dry it all out nicely. Again, I'm just going to continue to remove that design, and I'm using very light pressure as I'm not trying to remove bulk product. The 5-in-1 bit is medium grit from Kiara Sky, and I love it for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off and then get right back on. Now, typically I like to use my dust collector. However, it's a little bit far out for when I'm recording. So I just take my towel, shake it off to the side, and then turn it over and use that clean side to continue to work. I don't like having tons of dust, and especially with me having contact dermatitis, definitely don't want to irritate it. So I've been doing really well as long as I'm cleaning everything off constantly. I'm going to be focusing on prepping the nail for our acrylic fill. I am taking my mandrel bit with a medium grit sanding band, and I'm going to prep that natural nail along with removing any lifting, specifically on that middle finger. So I'm just going in on the natural nail very, very gently. I have my e-file at about 4,000 RPMs. That's my comfortable speed, and I have yet to hurt a client on that speed, so I will probably forever keep it at that. Now I'm just going in very well. I want to make sure that I am fully removing that lifting. If you are not familiar with why you need to remove the lifting, it can cause moisture to be trapped, which leads to greenies. And if you have further questions on what greenies are on nails, you can always Google that, but you definitely do not want any moisture to be trapped up under there. So I'm just going in on the sides and making sure that I'm removing that cuticle as best as possible and removing the shine very lightly off of the natural nail. You're going to get the best adhesion of the product if you do every single step that I show you in today's video. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that on the rest of the nails. Now you will see me alternating from hand, just depending on which one I had a better view. So now I'm going in with my needle bit. I have it still at 4,000 RPMs on my e-file, and this helps get all that excess dead skin cells that you might have on the natural nail that you might have missed with your mandrel bit. Whenever I started implementing these two last steps into my prep, my lifting is very minimal now and the nails stay on very, very well. So definitely recommend if you guys are struggling with lifting. I'm just going in very carefully around that area. It is super smooth, so it will not hurt the client as well. Now this is the cuticle ball bit that I am obsessed with. This just gently buffs off any dead cuticle. I don't like nipping it off. I feel like it terrifies me, and this just does a trick for me, so I don't have to worry about nipping anything off. But as you can see, it just lightly buffs it off, and it gives that nice clean finish to a set. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that on the rest of the nails. I do work on 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs for this step. I'm just going in and quickly shaping the nails up. For whatever reason, I like to do this before I do my fill. I feel like it just looks so much cleaner whenever I file before. But then I also do it afterwards, so honestly it doesn't really matter. It's just what I'm comfortable doing, and I feel like it's an extra step to ensure that you have the perfect shape. So for this step, I am using my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file. They are my all-time favorite ones. I use them all the time. And I'm just going in on both sides, alternating from the left to the right, from the right to the left, and making sure that that point is directly down the center of her nail. Now that the nail is fully dry, it has exposed a little bit more of that lifting that I couldn't see previously. That is the perfect indicator that your nail has lifted. So if it turns a little bit white in certain areas, that shows you that you have lifting and you must remove that. So I'm going back in with my e-file. Again, the same rechargeable e-file from Kiara Sky, and I'm using my same 5-in-1 bit that I used previously. Now I moved it up to about 8,000 RPMs, and I'm just gonna go ahead and gently remove the rest of that lifting and continue my prep. Going in with the lint-free wipe and some swipe, and I am fully cleaning that nail. I was completely off camera, so I'm sorry, but you guys get the point of it. This helps dehydrate the natural nail, which helps with adhesion of the product as well. Now I'm going in with Profix from Profiles Backstage, and I'm adding 2 layers of that on every single nail. I go in with 1 layer on all 10 fingers, and then I come back and do the second layer. I like to use tons of different products just to see what works with certain clients. You will notice that sometimes certain primers don't work anymore for your clients, and that is okay. Just go ahead and try a new one. I alternate between the not polished one and Profix, just because certain clients do work better with either one. So I like to have options, and I like to use what works for them. And you will start to remember that as you do their nails a lot more. And I perfectly remember that I used Profix on her and it lasted very, very well. So I'm going to continue to use that on her nails. Now going into our acrylic fill, I am using the Not Polish acrylic brush in the size 12 along with their monomer. And I am using the Not Polish clear acrylic for this video. Super, super simple, just a quick little fill. I take about a medium-sized bead of acrylic, place it where the growth is at, and then gently push up into the cuticle area, and then gently blend down into the existing acrylic. Now for this one, because we did remove quite a bit, I want to build that up nicely so that her nails don't crack. And the acrylic works perfectly. It settles very well on its own, so I don't have to work with it too much. I'm just blending that out into the existing acrylic, cleaning up the sides, making sure that it's nice and perfect, and then we're going to be filling in the cuticle part. Again, where the growth is, gently push up. Always remember to hold the finger in a downward position when working in the cuticle area. You don't want it to flood into that cuticle because that will cause lifting. Even though you think you clean it up all the way, sometimes you will get a little bit that still is there, which can still cause lifting. So try to keep it as clean as possible. Again, holding the finger down in a downward position and placing that bead, gently blending it down. Super, super easy. I always feel like acrylic fills take long with the prep area, and then once you get all that done, the acrylic fill is super quick. As long as you are used to the products that you are using, it goes by very, very quickly. It's so satisfying to me too, because it just brings the set back to life. Now once the acrylic is nice and dry, I'm going to go ahead and start my filing process. Again, using my Kiara Sky rechargeable e-file. I have it at about 8,000 to 9,000 RPMs. Now I switched it to my rose gold 5-in-1 bit, which is actually in a fine grit. Love, love, love using the fine grit for finished filing, as it just smooths everything out very, very nicely. So I'm starting off at the cuticle area and then work my way down vertically. With long nails, I like to work vertically up and down instead of horizontally. I just feel like I have better control of my e-file. The surface obviously is longer lengthwise, so that's the reason why. And I feel like I also get it done a lot quicker this way. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that on the rest of the nails. Now again, for our final shaping, I'm using my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, going ahead and filing the sides, making sure everything is nice and crisp. Because I already filed it at the beginning, this is very minimal, and I'm just making sure everything is back nice and tight. Now again, we're cleaning off the nails very, very well from the top to the bottom. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and clean as we are going to be doing tons of nail art. Don't forget to buff. I don't know why I always leave that out, but I do use the Profiles Backstage buffers, and I will leave everything linked down below. Now, I'm sure you guys are aware of this by now, but I am using my favorite nail art brush from Amazon, again linked down below in my Amazon storefront. And I am so excited to be sharing this with you guys because my client always brings the funnest nail art designs. They are my favorite. Definitely keeps me on my toes. So I'm going ahead and starting that off by drawing some eyeball shapes onto her index finger. Whenever she brings in tons of different nail art, I kind of take the ones that are more simple and start with those because I can get them quickly out of the way. So I went ahead and started with this finger. We're just starting off with the white background, and then I'm going to be doing the details in different colors. Again, same brush, and I do show slight snippets of how I clean it. You guys have asked me before, but I just squeeze it in between a napkin and pull it through. I don't use any products on it. A lot of the time you can honestly just remove it with a dry paper towel, which is what I like to do. Now, if you are using black in between, sometimes you might need to use a little bit of swipe or a little bit of alcohol, but I try to keep that very minimal. And because these gel paints are very, very opaque, I don't struggle with going from black to a lighter color. So I am doing teal, purple, and pink on to the eye colors. And I'm going to be adding in the black details with that same brush and my black gel paint. All gel paints are from Profiles Backstage. If I'm using any otherwise, I will obviously mention it so you guys are aware of that. But I'm using my handy dandy little flashlight to cure these. Just quickly cure them. It's sometimes very time consuming to have the client place it in the light just for a few seconds. So I've been using this and it's definitely been a lifesaver. Also linked in my Amazon storefront, and I definitely recommend it if you do tons of nail art. I'm just doing the little details in black, and then we're going to be curing that fully.
Turn around and back again. I made my bed and now I lay my head in it. And I'm sorry I'm not perfect, but I knew that I wouldn't be. I guess it's for the best, you know the worst in me. I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, cause I'm trying hard to love. I'm sorry, my actions, they haunt me, and I'll never live it down. I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. You call my bluff.
Now for the middle finger, we are doing stars. So I'm just starting off with white gel paint. This white gel paint is actually from Poochiez Nails. Her website is the Nail Art Boutique. Love, love, love her. I started off working with her when I first got really into nails, and I will forever have a special place for her in my heart. So I'm starting off with this. I'm using this one instead of the Profiles one because this one dries tacky, and I'm going to be using pigments for the specific design. So I want to make sure that I have a tacky layer versus it drying shiny. So just a quick little note on why I'm using that. I'm going to go ahead and draw them out in white first, and then we are going to be applying some raw pigment, which the pigment is from Profiles Backstage, and they have been my favorite go-to pigments. I love them, super vibrant, and they last very, very well, and they last a long time because I've had these forever.
Take me back, all of a broken plans, so we can start again. Wanting down a second chance, I'm too selfish for that. I let you fall again, now that you know that I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, cause I'm trying hard to love.
Now while it's curing, the reason why I'm using pigments on these 3 stars and throughout the set is because certain colors are not the same when it's in gel polish or gel paint. For example, my green in my gel paint is a lot deeper and we really want the vibrant neon colors, so I opted for using pigments. Certain colors you can definitely use in gel paints, but because I wanted the neon bright colors, I opted for pigments. It just makes more sense. It's not that hard to create or add on there. So it's not that big of a deal for me to transition from gel paint to the pigment. It really doesn't matter. I honestly look at the design and kind of think of what route is going to be easier for me, and I take it. I always want to make my life a little bit easier, but still get the best results. So for the ring finger, we are doing some flames, and we start off at the cuticle area and then start drawing them out down towards the tip. Again, using the Poochiez Nails Tacky Gel Paint in white as my base, as we are also going to be ombreing the colors. And you get a nice blend, a way easier blend, and a way better looking blend if you use pigments versus if I were to draw it on with the colored gel paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off and let you guys watch. Now for the pinky, I'm going back to using gel paints again for the same simple reason as to it is a lot easier for me to use the gel paint versus pigments. So now we are going to be adding tons of different layers, and I want to make sure that none of the colors get contaminated with the other pigment. Therefore, I'm using gel paints. So I'm starting off with yellow, and then I'm going to be working my way down into the center to a simple white with a little smiley face. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch that process as well. And of course, you always cure when you feel it is necessary. I cured right in between each color just to make sure they didn't bleed together. Now moving on to the thumb, we're doing a little alien head. Again, using the tacky gel paint because I'm going to be using the neon green pigment. A lot easier to get that bright neon green that we want. So that's why I'm using that, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of it. Now we're doing one big eyeball on the pinky on the other hand, and I did skip a few of the fingers just because they are pretty repetitive, and I feel like there's no point of showing the same design twice. Even if it's a different version of it, you guys already get the point of how exactly to do it. But I thought this one was so cute, so I'm gonna go ahead and include that on here. One big eyeball up at the top, and I'm doing it in teal. And of course, always cure when you feel it is necessary. I cure always in between different colors so that they don't bleed together. I'm just using a dotting tool to add the little pupil. And then back to my nail art paint for the last details. And basically for the rest of these, I'm just showing you little snippets of it. On this flame, I am doing the colors backwards, so I figured I would show you guys how I did that. Super, super simple. Again, using the pigments, very, very easy to create that beautiful blend. So make sure you guys buy some pigments if you guys don't already have them. They're super inexpensive. Like I said, they last you forever, so you don't have to worry about them running out on you. You use the smallest amount of pigment, so they last a freaking long time. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the nail art. Now I'm just using a fan brush to dust off any excess pigment. Here I'm just showing you how I clean off my brush. And now we're going to be top coating. I am using Gloss It from Not Polished. She opted for shiny for today's set. I'm just making sure that I'm really getting that into any creases, or that nail art will chip. So make sure you guys are really saturating that nail with it. And of course I'm going to be curing that in the light for a full 2 minutes just to be safe.
Show love. Ooh, take it back to when nobody used to know me. Let's tell you I was just.
Now once everything is cured and out of the light, I am going in with my all-time favorite cuticle oil. This is from Profiles Backstage. Love, love, love the smell of it, and it melts right into the skin. I'm applying a generous amount of that, and then I'm going to rub it into the nail, go underneath the nail. That helps kind of get any excess dust from under there as well. That basically concludes today's video. I'm showing you kind of how I set up here to take the video and pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm so excited to be back, so excited for our future, and I'm gonna be bringing you guys along with that, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.